Okay. All right. So these are my friends, David and Willie, and we're here tonight to talk to you guys about not about resume building, but what you need to look at more specifically about your time at Cal State LA, and maybe a little bit of preparation before you graduate, and just what life's like around graduation time and getting a job. So I'd like to introduce Willie and David, and let's start with David. David, would you tell us a little bit about yourself, and just so we get to know you a little bit, and then we can talk a little bit about school.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. So, David is my name, David King, and I graduated from Cal State LA in 2012 with a major in industrial engineering. Born and raised here in Los Angeles. Before actually going to Cal State LA, I went to LACC, transferred there, and then did 4 years at Cal State LA. And I think it's been a pretty good journey so far. I'm working full-time right now at SoCalGas. I've been there for 10 years. Right now I'm doing more emissions detection and sort of and whatnot. I think that's I think that's sort of all I have right now. Sorry.
Okay. Willie.
My name is Willie Harris, and I graduated in 2017 with a major in industrial technology with a focus in power energy and transportation. And I came in straight out of high school, freshman, and it took a while, but I had a great time.
So, why'd you pick Cal State LA?
It was close to home, and I was born and raised in LA, so it was just far enough for me to get away from my parents, but close enough to go home if I needed
David.
I remember actually I picked Cal State LA because I simply qualified for the curriculum at the time when I was at LACC, and then it was one of those where it's just sort of like, well, yeah, okay, this looks like good to me. Like they have a good engineering school there, and I qualify in terms of prerequisites, and honestly, I can say it was a good blind pick.
So what did you think you were going to do after you go into Cal State LA? What did you think that you might be interested in, or what were you going to do with going into Cal? Not when you were leaving, but going in.
Going in, I can't really say it held up to the standards. Going in, I was really, with engineering in mind, I was really thinking of having like all these workshops and these sort of classes, but not really lecture hall style, but more so hands-on of like, building something or designing things, whether it's and whatnot. And so I really felt like what I was thinking of what I was going into, the school delivered to me.
Willie, what did you want to do when you went into school, if you even knew? What did you?
I thought I was going to be an electrical engineer at the time, and I toured other schools, and majority of their classes were really big, and Cal State LA, the classes were a lot smaller, so I figured I'd rather be in a smaller school. That way I can really get to know the people I work with on projects, or the people in my class, or my professors. So that's what I was attracted to. That's what I thought I was going to do.
So now, looking back, working, living, trying to make things go. What kind of elements of school got you through and implemented towards your career and your life?
Okay, I guess I'll go on now. One thing that I think the school had that really helped was that they had these sort of group tutoring classes where they were supporting you, whether it's calculus or whatnot. I think being a part of those really helped out because you weren't just studying by yourself in the library trying to figure this out. Instead, you had peers next to you to try and help you through it. I think that something that I wish that I had done or whatnot was one of the student research projects. I feel like that definitely would have been really helpful in terms of just getting those sort of working skills and then also networking as well through that program. But
How did you find out about these programs that help you through math classes? And
it was really just talking to professors,
talking to
letting them know,
professors.
like, hey, I'm struggling a little bit here. Like, you know, I think just sort of having that communication with professors really helped out because, I mean, they have the resources.
So like the key here is to go out and talk to people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right?
Go out and talk to people.
Yeah. Okay. What regrets do you have about what you didn't do when you were at your time at school?
I think what I didn't do was, for most of the classes that I was in, it was group work. And majority of the time, I was the person that would help put the presentations together or put together sample drawings or just track things. And when I got to the working field, I still do some of the same things. And I wish I would have got certifications for like Microsoft Access, Microsoft Excel, or any of those software programs we use like CAD, because I do the same thing, but I don't have anything to really back it up as far as in the work field.
Proof.
I need proof of
Proof
work.
that you know how to
Proof
use
that I
it.
know how to do
Yeah.
what I say I'm doing.
Right.
So that's what I recommend.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't have any of those
Yeah.
certifications either.
Yeah.
I wish
Yeah.
I had done that also. Yeah, so that, and then one other thing, because he sort of touched on it with those sort of projects. A lot of the classes are that projects, whether it's your senior design and everything and whatnot. I wish that at one of those points I would have, instead of just being sort of the supporter to the project, but actually led it, because then that would really help in terms of leadership skills or project management skills also.
Are these the types of things that you do on the job, right?
Yeah.
That you
Yeah.
needed. You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
How would you have promoted yourself as as 6 months from graduating that I know how to do this? Like how would you have? What would you have done or done differently about that?
I would have joined a project team to build skills, go and compete against other schools, win something, and just to have that proof, and then have my portfolio to add to my portfolio, just to add the skill to my portfolio. I didn't do enough of that, so.
And what you did was what?
Well, I focused on those
Getting through classes.
just trying to get through.
Yeah.
Trying to pay for school, everything. It was just
And you wish that you would have been more
more focused,
engaged,
more focused.
Yeah.
I was trying to do so many things.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that really helped me out, or one thing that really helped me was sort of landing an internship sort of my senior year. That really sort of helped me out because I was able to get that sort of professional development and get an understanding of the work field as well.
Right.
But yeah, to touch on it, I think early on, being a part of those project teams more often would have made me develop more project management skills and whatnot. And I didn't realize that at the time. I guess you didn't really have to be a senior to be a part of those senior design classes. You can join
That's
them
right.
early on,
Yeah.
and so I would say join them early on and be a part of this.
So then you graduated, and then what? I mean, these are hard questions. I know. That's why I'm asking them, because it's not what we hear at school all the time. And you guys did it. You're real hustlers, and you really did it. So you graduated, and then what?
I'd say maintaining those sort of contacts and networks is very important and crucial because no matter how many positions or whatnot you apply to, networking is a very strong way of landing jobs and just sort of getting out there and building that network and maintaining them too. It's funny because a lot of people that I went to school with, I ended up working with in the same company or at the time the same fields, and you're just sort of like, all right, cool, I'm happy I maintained a good working relationship with you, right? So it's definitely a lot of that.
Yeah, just to piggyback, just joining project teams and working with different majors and knowing all those people from other majors, most companies hire different people, so you see those same people. And sometimes the people in your network may know other people in other networks. So knowing that, you know, David works for this company, I can have an opportunity to work for the company with David because I know someone there.
So it's like 6 months before you graduate, and aside from the networking,
Mhm.
what did you do? What did you do to say, oh wow, you know, in 6 months I got to find a job? What did you do? You got your resume together. You got.
Yeah, I think for me, well, 6 months I was still interning, right? So I was able to sort of pull that network in the company that I was in.
That's a big thing,
So
right? So you were
absolutely,
you
I
had
was
an
there.
internship.
Yeah, and I just immediately told my manager, like, hey, 6 months, I'm up. Like,
Yeah.
you know, this
Yeah.
this graduation is coming pretty soon. And so, you know, it was just sort of him teaching me where to look for jobs within the company, how to go through the networking, and how to apply and whatnot. I think that really helped. But again, it really goes with just that.
So how did you get your
talking to people.
internship?
I got my internship because I was with I was at a conference with NSBE, the National Society of Black Engineers, and I met the Human Resources Department there, or advisors, excuse me, one of the advisors there, and we were able to talk. I gave her my resume, and you know, she called me a couple of weeks later and said, "Hey, we have some internships opening up. You should apply."
And it was a good fit. And
It
you
was
just-
yeah, it was a good fit,
And
I ended
you
up staying
graduated
with the
and
company, yeah.
moved right in.
I also had internships at a few places, but if I didn't have internships, I would look for at least 10 or 15 companies that hire my major, and then look at the skill set for each position they had. And if any of those skills match what skills I had, I applied for those. So I just cast a big net, applied for the companies that knew would
So-
hire what I can do,
So,
and go from there.
so that's exactly where I'm going. So it's like the skills that you have and what's available to you at school. Like how do you work that in? So like you have to take these classes in order to graduate, but then you realize, okay, like I'm not a machinist, you know, and then you realize, but I'm really good at this. Like how do you incorporate your education into the skills that you know that you're good at, and then putting that forward into looking for a job? I know, these are really, this is why I'm asking these questions to you guys, because these are the questions that aren't available, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of, again, because a lot of the classes there are project-based, I think speaking to sort of those projects that you had in that class that you really connect to and that you know very well is a really good way to sort of communicate that skill to your future employer or current employer or whatnot. And just being, and also some of it is certifications as well in different fields like quality, insurance or whatnot. Whatever it is that you sort of, you know that you like to do, look into that field and see if they have certification for it.
Yeah, most of the group projects and team projects I was part of, I did a lot of tracking. So like making sure we stay on schedule. Like the end of the semester's coming, we need to have this done by this date. And also like I did a lot of the writing, putting together the presentation. So communicating our technical skills to our the people watching, our teachers, professors, and whoever else is there. So I made sure I excelled at those skills, and I noticed that all the other companies need that same skills. They're hiring those skills. So I honed on those specifically.
Do you see a parallel in the way teams work in industry as they do back when you were in school?
Yeah, I do. I think just it's just an industry you have more tools and resources available for you, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a parallel between the two.
What were some of the negatives about Cal State OLA and going to school? What were some of the negatives? Like what were like, this is just not okay?
I think one of the negatives was, at work you're only focused on that one thing, and at school you have different classes, you have different projects, you have different requirements, you need to meet certain things by a certain time frame, there's so much going on that it's hard to focus on one thing and be really good. So for me, I ended up being average at many of those things because I was doing too many things, doing too much.
Yeah, that's true. I think, yeah, a lot of that, and I think for me also, I was working, at one point I was working full-time while going to school, so it made it a lot harder for me to sort of do that as well. But yeah, like you were saying, you have multiple things that you're working on, and just trying to be an expert in one is really hard.
So we know a lot of the positives. I mean, there's so many from school, right? And of course, right? But what were some that really, like, this was awesome? Like, this is what I did, right? Like, this really helped me. This was, what were some of the real things you should go after? The positives that you look back on and say, this is something that I cherish for the rest of my life.
I think for me it was while I was taking my quality assurance class, I ended up using everything I learned from that class, and ended up getting my certification in quality improvement associate, and I was just like, that was that was a big achievement for me that I really enjoyed from ASQ. I wish that I took it a step further and got more certifications, but yeah, that definitely did like open a lot more doors to me, and just really just gave me a better understanding of quality and just whatnot.
For me, it was joining organizations within school and out of school, like professional organizations, and that helped me get my internship.
It's because of the people that you met.
Yeah, the people I met
Yeah.
in the organization, that was probably my most.
Relationships.
Yeah, relationships. You
It's
gotta be
it's
nice.
just-
yeah. To everybody.
Yeah.
You have to be nice. Even in projects, working with people you don't like, you still have to be respectful.
All right. And is there anything that you wish that you'd done differently?
I do wish that I had joined sort of the student research projects. I wasn't.
I know I already asked you that. But
Yeah. And led a senior design team. Like, actually led the team.
Yeah.
Right. You know, I was a part of it, but
Should have let it.
yeah.
I think during the semester we're busy, but during the summer break, if you're not in summer school, I regret not getting certifications, because I didn't really have much to do besides work. But just mastering those skills, because a lot of my friends, like David and other people I knew, were getting certificates, and when they graduated, they had a leg up on me. I can say I know AutoCAD, I know SolidWorks, I've designed this, I've designed that, but they have a certification, certificate to show this is what I've learned, and it's legit.
So, Dave, those certificates, where did they take, aside from saying, oh, they got me the job, where did they actually take you? And,
Yeah. I think one thing, it gave me sort of an understanding to speak to during an interview or while I'm speaking to others in the industry as well, right? So not just having a certification open up a door specifically in terms of getting a job, but it allowed me to convey that knowledge and know, so people can say, like, okay, yeah, he doesn't just have a certification, but he really knows something
practices.
about quality.
Yeah.
Right.
And do you feel maybe that there's a little bit of that lacking in the technology department? There's not a pressure for that? They're not really saying, hey, you need to do this.
Yeah, it wasn't really a push. It was more like a suggestion or a recommendation.
Right.
It should have been more like,
Right.
yeah, you should get like a certification prior to graduate.
Not that anyone's doing anything wrong, that's not what I'm saying. It's just like,
but it really does help out.
It really does help out. So the more proactive you are, the easier it's going to be.
Don't sit back and relax. Take these courses serious, because when you graduate, you're going to look back and like say, wow, I should have done this. Like, one of my downfalls was not asking for help faster.
That's what I'm after.
Like, I asked for help, but it was already when I was already.
How did you find your current job?
I had an internship with them with my current job, I work at Caltrans as a transportation engineer, so I design highways. More a project engineer, design engineer. My internship taught me how to use CAD, and I took I think it was a 3D design and a modeling course. So I learned AutoCAD SolidWorks. That helped me get my internship. And I left them and went to another company for an internship. Then I worked full time at another company. But once I left that company, I came back to Caltrans. So that helped me.
What about being a CAD jockey, though? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's not where you want to be. You don't want to be stuck in front of CAD all day long.
No.
Why not?
It's just you're designing all day long.
All day.
And these projects take years to do. So you're designing for years. And most times, when you're ready to leave, you're already the expert. And most managers don't want their expert to leave to another group. So then you're almost stuck.
Yeah.
So that's why it helps that you have other skills.
There's no vertical movement.
There's no movement.
Yeah.
Once you're the expert, you're the guy or the girl, and that's it. We can't lose this person. Make sure they stay.
So is there anything else you want to say to this class?
I sort of mentioned this before, but I think just really having that constant communication with your professors throughout your college experience is really helpful, because not just them helping you pass the class, but they have a lot of resources to offer you in general. So.
Just get to know your classmates, your professors. Be nice, because one day when you need help, someone in your class is going to say, "Hey, I remember you from this class. We have an opening. Check it out." And then focus in class. Even though the class may not be your favorite, or you may not care, but it's really important that you focus, because that skill is going to come back one day when you really need it. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you very much. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Awesome.